Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm going to be cooking up a Savage Mode 2 inspired beat. Savage Mode 2 just dropped last Friday. So yeah, I'm going to make like a Metro Boomin 21 Savage inspired beat. Something a little bit different. I noticed a lot of the beats in Savage Mode 2 were really simple. Simple hi-hat patterns and 808 patterns and all that. But, you know, I had that unique Metro bounce. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be going for. Let's get right into the video. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find a sample that kind of fits this Savage Mode 2 vibe. I think for this one, I already picked out a sample. Yeah, I believe it's this one. This sample here is from a Zero kit. The same Zero kit I used in my last video. It's a free sample pack. But this one just has, it sounds like a real like vintage sample. So I thought it would be cool to try to flip it, make a beat out of it. You know, Savage Mode, 21 Savage, Metro Boomin type beat out of it. I'm going to go ahead and set it to the correct BPM. I'm going to make sure it's cut properly. I'm going to cut this tail end out. And then I'm also going to break it down into sections. Okay, so I'm going to break it down into those 3 sections right there. I'm also going to mess around with the pitch, see if maybe I want to pitch it down. Go ahead and start with 2 semitones. Try 4 semitones. Okay, I like that. So I'm going to go ahead and pitch it down 4 semitones. I'm going to route it to the first track. I'm going to add a little bit of stereo separation, and then I'm just going to EQ out the low end, even though it's pretty much already EQ'd. And then for the master, I'm going to do what I always do, add an EQ, boost the highs, boost right here, and then add a soft clipper, and that's it. So yeah, now that I got the sample, I'm going to go ahead and find the right drums. Sound selection's huge, so yeah, I'm gonna go through, find some drums, show you what I pick out, and then we can get into the sequencing. Alright, so now that I got the sample all set up, I picked out my drums here, and I'll go ahead and go through them. Most of them are from this Artist kit. For those that don't know who Artist is, he got some crazy drums. Probably my favorite like drum kit maker or whatever. His drums are almost always on point, but yeah, I got most of the sounds from this kit right here. It's 2020 kit. And then I got, I think, the open hat and then this little triangle perk from my own drum kit. I'll leave a link in the description for that. Yeah, let me go through this. I picked out this 808. It's basically a spins, but a little bit different. It has more of a high end. Got this clap, hi-hat, this snare to layer with the clap, and then another snare to add bounce, standard open hat, and then standard triangle. So yeah, that's my sound selection. Those are the sounds that I picked out. They all got that, like, especially I noticed in a lot of the beats in Savage Mode 2, he uses a lot of triangles and interesting like open hats. So I'm gonna try to incorporate that. So yeah, now that we got the sounds picked out, we can go ahead and hop into the drum sequencing. Okay, so before I get into the drum sequencing, the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this to stretch, and I'm gonna speed it up to about 150. Just because I want to give it more energy. That's something you can do. A good tip if you ever feel like your beat is lacking like energy or like movement, try speeding up the BPM and it might help. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set down the clap. So I'm just going to place it standard spot, copy it over. I think I'm going to EQ out some of the high end of the sample as well. Now I'm going to layer it with this snare. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that pattern. Okay. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a simple 2-step hi-hat pattern. Okay, so I'm not going to go crazy with the hi-hats. I'm just going to add some really simple like triple bounces. So okay, so that's it for the hi-hats. I'm just going to leave it like that for now. Maybe I'll add some more once I get everything else laid down. But yeah, so that's it for the hi-hats and the clap and snare. Now I'm going to go ahead and lay down the 808. Alright, so for the 808, I picked out this spins like variation from the artist kit. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to shorten it. Then I'm also going to boost it, and then it is routed to track 2, so I'm going to make sure it's in mono. And then I'm also going to try to find the root note of the sample. Okay, so I think we're in C# minor. For those that don't know, it's a lot easier to detect the root note of a sample when you're trying to lay down your 808 if you put it into a higher octave. It just makes it easier to hear than when it's lower. You can even like put it way up. That's just a good tip for trying to find the root note pattern of a sample. So I got my 808 pattern laid down. I just tried to follow the root note of the sample, and then not try to add too many rolls or anything, but just try to keep a consistent bounce with the 808. One thing I forgot to do is cut the 808. Make sure you definitely do that. Go ahead, pitch it back down so you can hear how it sounds. Alright, so that's it for the 808s. Now I'm going to move into the perks, like the triangle, the open hat, the bounce snare, just to create more bounce in the beat, like that typical Metro Boomin style. So yeah, okay, so something that's really important for a Metro Boomin style beat is to have that that unique bounce. That's something that Metro Boomin is notorious for. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and start with the open hat and just find a good pattern for the open hat, and then I'm gonna add this triangle and the bounce snare to try to get that bounce. Okay, so that sounds good to me. I got the open hat going every like other bar, and then I got the bounce snare going. Pretty simple pattern. Like I said, nothing crazy. Keeping it simple because a lot of the beats on Savage Mode 2 and just in general, a lot of Metro Boomin or 21 Savage beats are relatively simple, but they add enough just to keep it unique. So you don't want to add too much, but you do want to keep it at least unique. But yeah, so I got this simple snare, bounce snare. And then I wanted to get a little unique bounce at the end here. So yeah, added that at the end, and then the triangle on the first bar opposite of the open hat. So yeah, to me that's pretty good for the drums. It sounds like something that 21 Savage would rap over, you know, an old vintage sample kind of beat. So yeah, now that we got the drums laid down, now I can get into the drum mixing and then sequence out the beat, and then that's it. Okay, so I got all the drums in this pattern. What I'm going to do is I'm going to split by channel so I can separate them all out and add them in as I want. But before I do that, I'm going to mix the beat, all the drums. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the sample here. I already EQ'd out some of the high end and the low end, and I think that's all I'm going to do. Maybe add an imager just to widen it even more, and keep the stereo on. If I really wanted to, I could add some sort of detune like vinyl or unstable, or another good one is it's called sketch cassette, but I don't want to this time because it already kind of has that old vinyl-y feel, so it would be kind of redundant to add even more. And then I'm going to go and add the clap. and then layered with the snare. Now I want to solo these and see where they're both hitting when they're together, and I want the snare to be kind of louder than the clap. Okay, so that sounds good to me, and I think I'm going to EQ lap. I'm going to EQ the low end out. Then with the snare, I'm going to do the same thing and just boost some of these like mid frequencies. Okay, so now I'm going to add the hi-hats. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to EQ the low end out of the hi-hat. I'm going to boost, this is called a frequency sweep, where you want to take this, you want to lower this knob, make it narrow, and go through and find the frequencies that sound good that you want to boost. So right there, like the crispy part of the hi-hat, I want to boost that. And then I'm going to add a lot of reverb. There's a few beats on Savage Mode 2 that I noticed they added a lot of reverb to the hi-hats. Like, it's like almost too much, but so I'll go ahead and just do that. Okay, so now I'm going to add the 808. Okay, now I'm going to add all of the perks and open hats and all that. Okay, so that sounds good to me for the mixing. Nothing too crazy, just some leveling and EQing and a little bit of reverb on the hi-hats. So now I'm going to go ahead and sequence the beat. Okay, so we got the sample, we got everything mixed, we got the drums laid out, everything's done. All we got to do is sequence the beat. So I'm going to find a part that I want to start the beat with. I think I want to start it, I think I want it to just go kind of how it is. You're going to have this part for the intro with the voice. I want that at the end of the hook, and then I guess we'll keep this for like the beginning. We'll have the intro, and then like a little pre-hook, and then a hook, and then it'll drop into the verse. Okay, then we'll have the 808 come in here for the hook, and then we'll also bring in the open hat and the triangle. Okay, so yeah, I decided to copy the hook over and extend it, so it's a little bit longer. We are working in 150 BPM, so it's pretty fast. So yeah, after that, I want it to drop into the verse. So as you can see at the end of the hook, I cut out the hi-hats, and then I'm gonna have it drop back in with just the clap snare and then the hi-hat, and then the 808 is gonna come back in. Then have all the drums come back in right here. Actually, I'm gonna cut out these two, have these two come in here. So I'm gonna have the snare come in for this part. Maybe the triangle. Yeah, and then for this third part, I'm gonna cut out the hi-hats and bring the open hat in. Okay, so then I'm going to have, after the verse right here, I'm going to have everything drop and then have this part come back in with the voice as like a little pre-hook or a little bridge or whatever. And I'm going to slowly bring these sounds back in. Okay, so then it's going to go back into the hook right here. We're just going to do a little outro here with the simple part of the melody play. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find a crash to add as well. So I'm gonna go into my old drum kit and I'm gonna find this little cymbal here. Yeah, so I'm going to leave that cymbal in there, and then I'm also going to find a little riser. Sounds like a good one to me. Alright, so that's everything sequenced out. I got all the drums. I got the intro with a little pre-hook, and then the hook, and then the verse right here, then a little bridge, bring the drums back in, and then the hook, and then the outro right here. Keeping the beat kind of short, 2 minutes, 20 seconds. And then I got these little effects right here, the riser and the crash, and that's it. Everything sequenced out. That's the whole beat pretty much done. I would just have to add my tag, and then that would be it. Don't overcomplicate it. You want to keep it really simple. That's something that Metro Boomin is notorious for, and 21 Savage both. That's why they work really good together, because they keep things simple and they add just enough. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something new, and I'll see you in the next video.